A very good afternoon to you. It is the first day of the 9th month, that is September of 2020. Happy new month to you. Thank you for making time to join us. This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Betty Kiptum. We start off with Matters Wildlife, where communities affected by human-wildlife conflicts between the 2017 to 2020 period will be soon compensated if the government makes good its promise. Tourism and Wildlife Principal Secretary Professor Fred Segor says they will spend 524 million shillings to settle pending claims countrywide, even as they embark on fencing off unsecured parks to avert similar incidents in the future.
Affected and authorities. One-hand communities often decry the compensation process, which they term as slow, while authorities at times struggle to identify genuine cases. Wildlife and Tourism Principal Secretary Professor Fred Segor acknowledges lack of proper laws to govern the process and shortage of funds are a major hindrance to payment of compensation claims.
It has taken us almost 4 years to finish the backlog between 2013 and 2017. We have now summarizing the compensation for 2017. Very soon, in the course of the year, we will start working on the compensation of 2017 coming to 2020.
Professor Segor is, however, encouraging victims not to give up just yet, as the government is finalizing modalities of settling pending claims by December this year.
We've discussed widely with Treasury so that they continuously increase the amount of money for such compensation. So it is unfortunate we have delayed, but what I know is that the government eventually will pay these funds. However long it takes, it will pay. But we are also looking at the best ways of ensuring that this one is fast-tracked.
At the same time, the 10-member task force formed by the Ministry of Wildlife and Tourism, set up to look into ways of opening up the wildlife corridor in Nairobi National Park, has already begun work.
There are plans to see how we can connect it to the neighboring the sanctuaries and also in the Kapiti Plains and etc., so that we are able to increase the size for the park, so that we are able to keep more animals.
Professor Segor refuted claims that the government has increased park entrance fees, saying the figure have instead been reduced by up to 60% with aim of boosting local tourism. Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Now, the fisheries industry in the country has received a major boost after 11 Kenyan seafarers joined 2 Spanish-flagged research vessels involved in fisheries work within the Western Indian Ocean Rim. The 11 will work as deckhands and engine room staff and have undergone mandatory COVID-19 screening before joining the vessels.
The move comes as Kenya allowed sailors to disembark from ships onto its soil for the first time in 3 months, as it relaxed restrictions against seafarers imposed to combat the spread of COVID-19. The 11 Kenyans who left abroad the vessels over the weekend will work for 4 months on renewable contracts aboard RV Alax through and RV Soribat. Mombasa Ocean Agency official Eid Musa said that his firm was working with several international fishing companies and expects to recruit another 200 Kenyan seafarers before the end of 2020.
Hizi meli za uvuvi zinatoka Spain, zinatoka not Spain, zinatoka Seychelles, zina flag Spain, zinakuja kuwachukua wavuvi 11. Alafu na kuna 8 pia wanashuka foreigner, wanaelekea nyumbani kesho.
Tuchukue nafasi hii tuitumie, kwa sababu Ushelisheli hivi sasa wamestopisha, wamesimamisha crew change. Sasa hii nafasi yetu mwafaka, tushirikiane na serikali na vitengo vyote vya usalama, tukitizamia mikakati iliyowekwa na Ministry of Health, Wizara ya Afya, kuangalia kwamba tunavyofanya crew change pia tunaangalia mikakati yote iliyowekwa.
According to the International Workers Transport Federation Mombasa Port Ship Inspector Betty Kiptum, the acceptance by Kenya last month to allow for crew to change has so far enabled close to 400 seafarers to change ships, with some departing for their countries worldwide.
Na bado hivi tunasema kuanzia next week kuna zingine pia zinakuja, na tunatarajia kuwa by the end of next month tutakuwa na Wakenya zaidi ya 200 watakuwa wanapata kazi katika hii crew change yetu ya Kenya.
Kenya now joins 13 countries that agreed to the new international measures to open up borders for seafarers and to increase the number of commercial flights to expedite seafarers' repatriation efforts following an international crew change summit held in London on July 9th, 2020. Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Now, a group of youth currently battling drug and substance abuse in Isiolo County is now appealing for support from the county government. The 22 young men formed a support group, but lack of initiatives such as availability of rehabilitation interventions has seen their efforts almost hit a snag. The group that is now calling for urgent interventions has expressed fear going back into drug abuse that may further endanger their lives.
Worried of losing it all after indulging in drug abuse for long, these youth, accompanied by their parents in Isiolo town, are now hoping for salvage from the county government.
Tumepata vijana kadhaa, tuliacha vijana karibu 16. Kwa sasa hivi venye tuliacha vijana 16, vijana 5 tu ndo wamefaulu kupigana na hizo mwili yao. Kulingana na hii kitu ni problem. Iko uchungu, iko pain kwa mwili, lakini mtu wa umu hawezi sikia.
Bado hii dawa huwezi wacha, ndio nimekuambia inasemekananga ukinionja uniwachi. Kwa hivyo kuiwacha ni shida, hata kama tunasema tumewacha, ni ile tu mdomo tunasema tumewacha, lakini ukipata utakula kwa maana uko na shida na unaumwa bado.
Kijana yangu huyu mnaona ametumia hii dawa almost sasa miaka 10 ako na mimi. Kwa sababu mimi sijiwezi, ndio nafungiaga huyu kijana ndani ya nyumba. Leo kijana amekaa design hii, hajielewi kabisa.
Hussein Ibrahim, an addict who chairs a support group initiated to deal with the vice, says it has been a struggle to overcome the addiction due to lack of rehabilitation centers and counseling services within the county.
Umenipata, hiyo dawa tulikuwa tunatumia kuweka kuvuta, tulikuwa tunavuta, lakini saizi tumeipigana naye, tumeiacha. Kwa sasa tumeiacha, iko kwa damu yetu ile vile, lakini tunahitaji serikali juriab, si kitu kurehabilitate, si rahisi hivyo. Tunaomba gava itusaidie na mahitaji kama dawa hivi.
Kulingana hatuna methadone, tunahitaji methadone. Kama Nairobi walipewa methadone, Mombasa walipewa methadone, kwa nini sisi Isiolo tusiletewe methadone? Ama sisi si wa Kenya?
Hawajiwezi ile kiafya, wanataka matibabu. Mimi ningependa kusema hivi, county commissioner, kama una huruma na county yako na vijana yako, hawa watoto watafutie dawa na matibabu. Kuna wengi wanania kufanya kazi, lakini hawaoni mtu ya kusaidia.
It is a menace that has seen most of them economically unproductive, most of them as old as 40 years, purely depending on their parents for upkeep.
Well, we now take our first short break here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. But remember, you can interact with us online at KBC Channel 1 on Twitter. My personal Twitter handle is at Betty Kiptum. See you after the break.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Boss lady, wajani aje? Itabidi uhamuke. Jimmy, unajua nilisho. I'm proud of you. Nikao karibu kwa mwenda.
Basi yako.
Leo njala tushie memorial. La basi unaweza mcheki kesho.
Ndani ofe.
Achana na basi, unahitajika memorial.
Toka kwa njia yangu. Saimo, usifanye nikusongeshe.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
I have vital information about the lawsuit that HS Constructions is going to lodge against you. If you are interested, please contact via email kapelu73@tcl.com.
Oh, it's you.
Can you put Diego on, please?
He doesn't want to talk to you. He's really very upset.
Then convince him. I need to talk to him.
It's not that I don't want to put him on. He told me that if ever you called, he wouldn't want to talk to you.
Or things with Uncle Antonio.
Bad.
Really, really bad. It's better we don't talk about that, okay?
El paraíso
In Love with Ramon.
Welcome back. You are watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Now, a family in Nairobi's Huruma area is crying for justice over an alleged grabbing of a property belonging to their late grandparents. The family claims their aunt wants to disinherit them of the property, leaving them with nothing.
According to some of the family members of the late Ruth Wangondu, one of their relatives is behind their predicaments and they have been rendered homeless after their land was grabbed.
Huku ni kwetu kwenye babangu amezaliwa na niliambiwa sina haki ya kupata ya kurithi mali ya babangu na sina wazazi, sina baba, sina mama na napitia maisha ngumu juu niko na mtoto na bado nalipa nyumba kwenye naishi.
They claim some family members have even resorted to twilight business to eke a living as they have nowhere to call home.
Sasa hivi venye tunaongea, sistangu ako children's home. Juu aliachwa na mamangu akiwa 3 months. Haya, venye huku walikuwa ni kama wataki kumlea. Sasa kuna anko yangu mwingine brother mamangu akamchukua akampeleka children's home. Sasa mimi na brother yangu ndio tulikaa kwa shisha yangu wa ushago mwenye ameza mamangu.
They allege police have refused to act on complaints over the property. And a family in Kiambu is seeking government's intervention following the disappearance of the body of their kin who died at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Na huko Kenyatta hata kuenda kwa od aliaga kabla hata akuwa kwa custody. Tukapigiwa simu na ule alikuwa anashughulikia yeye. Sasa mimi siku nilitongolia niteremka huko Nairobi nikadhibitisha hivyo na sababu tulikuwa tumechelewa siku ya 3 ndio tulenda na shushu yake na tukaona tukamdhibitisha ni yeye na tukaenda tumeweka pahali vizuri.
According to Joseph Mwangi, a family member, the disappearance of their kin could be linked to a family land dispute.
Tafadhali, ikiwa ni wewe uko na namna unaweza saidia huyu kijana umsaidie, sababu mimi na mother tumefikia mwisho.
Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
We now move to matters politics, and we'd like to speak to our reporter, Edward Kabasa, who is at the Orange House. There was supposed to be apparently a meeting for the ODM members, and that seems to be a closed-door meeting. What is the latest, Kabasa?
Good afternoon, Betty Kiptum. We are at the Orange House in Lavington, where a meeting called by the Executive Director, Udur Ongwen. We believe it is currently ongoing, but as you can see, the gate is currently closed. And what we understand is that meeting of the national leadership of the Orange Democratic Movement Party and the members of the Migori County Assembly who are allied to ODM or members of the ODM party, of course, who form the majority of that assembly. That meeting was supposed to take place here, but we understand that it has been moved elsewhere. We also understand that the reason for that, the organizers or the conveners of this meeting had received intelligence that some goons had been hired to disrupt it. We do not exactly know who is alleged to have hired this group of goons, but the meeting was moved elsewhere in an undisclosed location, and we are hoping that after the deliberations there, the ODM party will issue a communication. The members of the Migori County Assembly are meeting perhaps to discuss the issues or matters arising in Migori County. As our viewers will understand, is that the governor has been implicated in graft, and he did spend a couple of days behind bars. He was released on a cash bail, and he has gone on record alleging that there is a group that is trying to interfere with his running of the county. We do not know whether that particular sentiment is connected to the move by the ODM party to reconvene this meeting elsewhere, but we are hoping that before the end of the day we shall have a direction on what really transpired in that particular meeting, which is currently taking place in undisclosed location. We understand that this meeting has been convened by the national leadership. We don't know whether ODM party leader Raila Odinga is the one chairing this particular engagement. Orange Democratic Party has been on record saying that they will not support anyone who has been found guilty to have engaged in corruption. Of course, it has been vocal on issues arising at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority. The ODM party leader Raila Odinga did issue a communication to that regard. The party's chairperson also did communicate about the party's stand on that when he spoke during the National Assembly Leadership Forum a couple of days ago at the Ole Sereni. It has been a script which has been read out by the leadership of ODM that the party does not condone corruption and it will not stand with anyone who has been tried and found to have engaged in malpractices. Live from Orange Democratic Movement Party headquarters in Lavington, my name is Edward Kabasa. I now hand you back to Broadcasting House.
Well, thank you very much, Edward Kabasa, there for that update. We are informed that that closed-door meeting for the ODM members was moved to an undisclosed location because of allegations that there were goons hired to disrupt it. Of course, Edward Kabasa will be bringing us the latest on that once he gets any information. We move on now. The National Youth Service is targeting to generate 1 billion shillings annually through farming. Public Service Principal Secretary Mary Kimonye says part of the strategy entails equipping National Youth Service servicemen with modern farming technology to cultivate the 3,396 acres of land at the Athi River Station.
2 years ago, President Uhuru Kenyatta gave the National Youth Service a green light to undertake enterprise and commercial activities after signing into law the National Youth Service Act of 2018. To this end, the National Youth Service plans to increase land under farming in Athi River Station from the current 300 acres to 3,396 acres.
Land NYS as is expansive. If we could sort the issue of unreliable power and water, we will expand. And I think they have great plans to increase the acreage, especially for cotton, horticulture.
The NYS projects to generate 1 billion shillings from agricultural activities, up from the current 40 million shillings annually.
We have given NYS a target of 1 billion to generate 1 billion from the farms.
The turnaround strategy will see NYS leverage on irrigation and equipping recruits with modern equipment to engage in farming.
We have a fruit farm project where we plant pawpaws, we have the oranges, we have the avocados, we also plant maize.
Public Service Principal Secretary Mary Kimonye says this will go a long way in boosting the country's food security that has been negatively affected by pest infestation and unreliable rains.
Now we have a directive now from the government that if we need something, we buy it from government institutions. For example, all the rice our institutions need, we buy from where? Anything being farmed by NYS, we buy from them.
In its commercial expansion strategy, the NYS plans to scale up operation of some of its industries, including the water bottling venture. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And Safaricom has expanded its strategic collaboration with MGAS as the two firms seek to leverage on joint technology development, expertise sharing, co-creation of solutions and market support. Beyond offering access to clean and affordable gas to millions of Kenyans, MGAS aims at tackling the health challenges caused by reliance on smoke-emitting fuels. Under the deal between Safaricom and MGAS, customers pay for the gas in small amounts, addressing the challenge of high upfront cost of a cooker, gas cylinder, and regular refills.
taking this latest technology to serve ordinary Kenyans, not sort of elite somewhere, but we're serving our customers in Mukuru Kwajenga using NB-IoT. And that to me is just such a fantastic storyline, how we're working together and using technology to impacting lives.
About innovation is about combining digital and innovation and technology to bring together solutions that can make a difference. There's no question about expanding what we are offering to customers beyond our connectivity solutions, beyond our M-Pesa solutions, to bring together to solve solutions that impact customers every day.
On the international front now, Facebook has threatened to stop users from sharing news content in Australia as it prepares for a new law, forcing it to pay publishers for their articles. Regulators in Australia want tech giants like Facebook and Google to pay for the content reposted from news outlets. Here are the details of these and other stories in our international business roundup. Google has warned its users that its search services could be dramatically worse as a result of new regulations in Australia. Facebook's latest move to block news sharing in Australia has escalated tensions between tech firms and regulators. The social media network says that if the proposed legislation becomes law, it will stop Australians from sharing news on Facebook and its subsidiary Instagram. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission has drawn up the rules to level the playing field between the tech giants and publishers that it says are struggling due to lost advertising revenue. Elsewhere, video conferencing app Zoom has seen its revenue skyrocket and second quarter profits more than double due to the coronavirus crisis that saw more people embracing virtual meetings. Revenues shot up 335% to $663.5 million for the 3 months ending 31st July, while profits soared to $186 million. Video conferencing apps remain crucial due to the increase in remote working. Key to Zoom's success was its ability to add paying customers. Zoom, together with rivals Cisco, Webex, and Microsoft Teams, have all seen a surge in usage of their video conferencing platforms since coronavirus lockdown measures were imposed by multiple countries in March. Finally, Samsung heir Lee Jae-yong is facing fresh charges over his role in a 2015 merger deal at the tech giant. South Korean prosecutors accused Lee of using stock and accounting fraud to try to gain control of the Samsung Group, claims which Lee denies. In 2017, Lee was found guilty of separate charges in relation to the deal, including bribery, but his 5-year prison sentence was suspended. In June, state prosecutors sought to arrest Lee for the second time over the controversial merger in 2015 of two Samsung businesses, Samsung C&T and Cheil Industries. It follows his 2017 conviction over the merger, which sparked a political and business scandal in South Korea, including the resignation and conviction of former President Park Geun-hye. Back home in some local news now, a section of Kakamega County MCAs have come to the defense of Governor Wycliffe Oparanya over allegations of misappropriation of COVID-19 funds. This as Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako insists that the fund has been misused and called on the MCAs to take up their oversight role seriously instead of defending corrupt individuals.
Dismissing their colleagues who are plotting Oparanya's ouster as busybodies, the pro-Oparanya's MCAs said the group has no numbers to carry out the impeachment.
Ningependa kuambia kwamba hiyo ni mchezo ambayo haiwezi fanyika Kakamega County. Kwa hivyo mwenye anaota ati kuna siku anaweza leta impeachment motion Kakamega County, nataka nimwambie aache kuota, yeye afanye kazi ambayo alichaguliwa kama mwakilishi wa wadi.
They further said the funds were utilized as required and that there are documents to back this up.
Tuko na ofisi ya finance
ambayo iko na public document, zile nyinyi members of the press you can access, the members of the public will be allowed to access, and the procurement also is a public office. You will have the right to go and find out what has been procured and how much and how was the process.
Tungekuwa na jambo mngesikia imeletwa kwa bunge, imeongelewa kwa bunge, hiyo yote ni porojo.
But Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako insisted the funds have been misused and called on the MCAs to stop defending corruption.
Kwa hivyo huu ni ufisadi, na nasikitika kwamba inaonekana Kasaya sasa amejitokeleza kama mtu ambaye anataka kufunika ufisadi hapa. Hata anarudi kule nyumbani mahali anatoka Mkai Shiruku. Tuenda atuonyeshe ni watu wangapi wako na mask the county government Mkai Shiruku.
Meanwhile, a Mijikenda lobby group and a section of church leaders from the coast region have echoed their voices on the ongoing KEMSA COVID-19 funds scandal, calling on Health CS Mutahi Kagwe and PS Susan Mochache, as well as the entire KEMSA board, to step aside to pave way for investigation.
Bwana Kembi Gitura, you are the chair. Take the responsibility. Step aside. Ili kwamba uchunguzi ufanywe na tujue mbivu na mbichi. Mpwani anasema ile mambo ya kusema ya kwamba sijui punda afe lakini mzigo ufike, punda hata kufa. Yes. Tumechoka. Punda hata kufa.
The two groups also threw their weight on the graft charges leveled against Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa, condemning the vice. And in Kajiado County, a section of youth allied to Deputy President William Ruto have slammed political leaders trying to edge him from the Jubilee Party ahead of the 2022 general elections. The group, dubbed Youths for Ruto Kajiado, were reacting after a section of Baringo youths were reported to have referred Kajiado as Kanu Gideon Moi's political bedroom, owing to his recent visit at Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli Kajiado home.
Sisi kama Kajiado County hatujui mtu mwingine. Sisi tunajua ni William Ruto 2022.
Tunasema hii Kajiado County ni bedroom ya Dr. William Samoei Ruto.
Kamchemenza for Channel 1 News.
And Employment and Labor Court Judge Njagi Marete has been reinstated after tribunal appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta to investigate his conduct cleared him of any wrongdoing. A report given by the tribunal led by Court of Appeal Judge Al-Nashir Visram found no merit on all accusations leveled against the judge. The complaint against Justice Marete was filed by Kenya Tea Growers Association in a matter involving the Kenya Plantations and Agricultural Workers Union and other parties.
And recalling the definition adopted by this tribunal for gross misconduct or misbehavior, we find no merit in the sole allegation of gross misconduct or misbehavior against the Honorable Judge. In consideration of all the evidence standard and having found that the allegations against the Honorable Judge was not proved, the tribunal unanimously recommended to His Excellency the President that the Honorable Mr. Justice D.K. Njagi Marete ought not to be removed from the office of the Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya. Thank you.
More than 10 earth dams in Mwingi West Sub-County in Kitui County are set for construction, renovation and desilting. The initiative, driven by Area MP in collaboration with the National Irrigation Board, will see the dry area become water sufficient once the project is completed.
Water is life, and life is water. The pain and tale of water scarcity can well be told by the residents of Mwingi West, who have to walk over 10 kilometers in search of this precious commodity. Such a big challenge to the locals that the area member of parliament Charles Nguna has decided to drive the noble cause to ensure residents are water sufficient.
We are going to make sure Mwingi West in 10 years to come, if re-elected, is water sufficient in every village. No woman at all, no person in Mwingi West should tarmac 2 kilometers looking for water.
More than 10 earth dams across the sub-county that constitutes of 4 wards are said to be constructed. The construction of over 300 water pens in Zatani and Itoloni areas have already been started.
Sisi wanawake tunasumbuka sana kwa sababu tunaenda kuchota na punda. Wale hawana punda wanaenda kuchota na migongo.
Through the efforts of our Honorable Mheshimiwa, now we have been witnessing some glitters of success through the dam and even the piped water, which is promised that you pipe from Masinga up to this place.
Elsewhere, residents of Narok Town will have to brace for tough times as the Narok Water and Sewerage Company announced a water rationing program. This comes at a time when the demand for water increased due to population influx as the town continues to expand.
We are also rationing the water bowsers. Like for example, the Maralink Point, they only fetch water 3 times a week. That is on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and also on Friday. We've also rationed the hours. They only fetch water between 9 and 4 o'clock.
According to Stanley Kuyoni, the managing director, Narok Water and Sewerage Company, the rationing has been brought about by low water levels at the Narok River, which supplies water to the town.
Narok town is expanding day by day. There are a lot of mushrooming estates. There were some estates which were not there last year, but we can now see estates in TM. They were not there last year. We can now see other estates in Oletipis area, which we call Adam Estate. They were not there the years before. There are many other estates now in Block 11. There are many upcoming new buildings. You know what we do? We connect water households. We do household connection. So
Ruth Wamboi for Lunchtime News.
Move to the field where the president of Argentina, Alberto Fernandez, has urged Barcelona star Lionel Messi to return to play professionally in his homeland for the first time. Messi has been at Barcelona since the age of 13, spending his entire senior career in Spain and never getting the chance to compete at senior level at home. Argentina, the 6-time Ballon d'Or winner, is looking to leave Barcelona this summer after 20 years, and he has formally requested for a transfer from Camp Nou. Manchester City are widely considered as the front-runners to land Messi, with Pep Guardiola having previously coached the 33-year-old in Catalonia. Well, that's about it for the Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Many thanks for staying with us and watching and interacting with us online. Have yourself a lovely afternoon. My name is Betty Kiptum, and Lensa Odingo has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Bye-bye.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
People gonna say all kind of things about you. With them on, just shake up. Need to mush you and done to mush you. When your booty got show me now. Baby, one time. Bossy baby, give me 2 times. Full 180. Crazy. Trago y ella la botella. Let's go. Ha. I needed some with some bop in it. Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you. Choro, 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 choro. Te pago. Katoto shepu awe, ayawe, ayawe. Tekenya katoto, kamini tekenya, tekenya katoto.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Mother, what are you doing?
Are you feeling the pain? Look at it. How much pain can you bear?
Mother, it is paining. Please leave.
On the day of choosing the successor, Siamak will get his chance. The in-charge must be chosen as soon as possible, Ashok. And for that we will need a person who is ready to take over the responsibility immediately.
Currently, this hall is too small, and this is the headquarters of the county. So now we are preparing to go to Rwanda in August. In Rwanda, they're using the recent electronic scoring systems, of which in Kenya we don't have. We are preparing to go to Rwanda. That is for exposure.
Baseball is a bat and ball game played between 2 teams of 9 players each who take turns batting and fielding. The game has created interest among young kids in Mombasa and is picking up in other areas. This is expected to help in the development and promotion of the game across the country, therefore enhancing competition among baseball players nationally and eventually on the international level.
Sasa hivi ninakaa miaka 10 tangu nicheze mchezo. Katika timu ambayo ilikuwa inatakana tuform as za Kenya, twende South Africa. Ikawa niko na pepa. Shuleni nilikuwa form 4. Pale ndo nilivunjika moyo kabisa. Inabidi niache game. Lakini baada ya miaka kadhaa ndo nikapata vijana. Ikabidi niendeleze kipaji chao cha baseball. Na hapa matumaini waendelee kucheza mchezo. Si mchezo tu unacheza kama favorite yako, ni mchezo na pia ni kazi. Unalipa sana mchezo wa baseball kadri unavyoenda na experience yako. Katika uwanja huu tuna challenges nyingi ambazo watu wapata tukiwa hapa uwanjani. Kwanza uwanja uko ni wa kampuni au refinery, inabidi tuombe kiwanja tuje tucheze. Saa nyingine wenyewe wanaweza taka kiwanja chao waone.
The government, through the Ministry of Sports, Culture and the Arts, is encouraging and investing in sports to ensure that Kenya is competitive at a global level in all games.